Got it.
Like checking the
Yeah, I think
This is what happens when you suffocate a
just like
No, they don't.
Crank the Zoom. I was like cranked in the Zoom.
You have radium under your chair, okay? That's radium.
I'd like to call to order the public meeting for today, March 13th. Mr. Jones, please call the roll.
Ms. Barbie?
here,
Ms. Bauer?
here,
Mrs. Worrell?
here,
Ms. Brody?
here,
Dr. Kolakowski?
here,
Ms. Sirianni?
here,
Ms. Winkler?
here.
Ms. Williams? and Mr. Murray?
Here. Quorum is present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we just came out of executive session. We had a personnel report, PIB, suspension and detention and legal status report. Board President announcement. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law is enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend this meeting as public bodies in which the business affecting their interests is discussed, or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Scotts Plains Family Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having date, time, and place thereof posted by the Board of Education offices located at 313 South Avenue, Fanwood. Such notice is also provided in written notice form forwarded to the Union County Hawk, the Star Ledger, the Township Clerk of Scotts Plains, and the Borough Clerk of Fanwood, and the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings as adopted April 25th, 2024, and revised August 27th, 2024. No additions to the agenda, and I will pass this over to Dr. Mass for the superintendent's report.
So this evening, we have two important reports. One is Christopher Jones will be presenting the budget along with the administrative team, and we have some exciting work that has come from Evergreen that's going to be showcased this evening. But I don't want to give away the surprise. So.
Thank you, Dr. Mass. Jones, any report or say
I'll
anything?
defer my comment to budget.
Okay. Student rep reports.
All right, so far, Matt can't be here tonight because he's performing right now at opening night of Freaky Friday. Make sure to get your tickets for the performance this weekend. We have Friday at 7 p.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. Also, what's been going on at the high school, there's been NJ GPA testing, which is taking place for juniors, which has been happening for about 4 days and will continue for the rest of the week. We also have our Spanish exchange students who have arrived from Barcelona, and we've had a welcome ceremony breakfast this Tuesday where the Moon Glowers also performed. We've also had a bunch of student finalists for business clubs here at the high school, such as DECA and FBLA, and we represented SPF very well and have several students going to DECA Nationals, including Jordana Silverstein and Caroline Lauder, as well as those going to FBLA Nationals, Jordana Silverstein, Gabby Frenchman, who placed first at SLC, Friday Sadvani, who placed first, and Cameron Evans and Sophie Shapiro, who placed second in their respective events. We also have PSAT testing next week for sophomores, and a bunch of spring sports tryouts are also happening this week. We also have Senior Support Day, which is tomorrow, where senior citizens are arriving tomorrow morning, where SGA, the Student Body Government Association, will work diligently to entertain and tour the senior citizens around the school.
Thank you, Grace. All right, we will now move to, I think, why everybody's sitting here in front of us. Sure. So I will ask our principal, this woman, can you please maybe introduce the third grade presentations, and we're going to swing around so we can see everything.
Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see all of you. We are really excited to welcome our third grade representatives and our third grade teachers here to show you a little taste of the Wax Museum. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Sosha to give a summary of what this project entails and all of the hard work that our students put forth to make these presentations so wonderful. And thank you so much to the Board of Education for allowing us to come tonight to showcase this work, and to all of our students and their families and our teachers for joining tonight. I'll turn it over to Mrs. Sosha. Hello, everyone. Student interest and choice can be linked to student engagement, productivity, and ultimately student achievement. This all proved itself to be true when we introduced the Wax Museum project as a way to culminate our nonfiction reading and writing units in February. In Ben 3 of the reading unit, titled Reading to Learn, students are introduced to narrative biographies as a genre of nonfiction reading. Linking this to a final writing piece in the Writing to Inform unit, students took all they learned and linked it to mini lessons in both reading and writing to create a book about a person of their choice who has made a positive impact or contribution to society. Students used reading skills and strategies to learn all they could about these very important individuals, and then demonstrated their understanding through a nonfiction book about their person. Next, students dressed up, becoming their person, and with the press of a button, came to life, demonstrating their public speaking skills by reciting a speech in the first person. Students surpassed our expectations and blew everyone who visited the museum away.
Please, everybody wants to come up and submit their reports. The board members want to come up and sit in this seat. So you can press, so you can press the buttons. Dr. Kolkowski. Yeah. So, but
This one? I just have to start. Okay, you guys can start.
you have to press this button.
Oh, okay.
Press his button.
Right here? Oh.
Hello, my name is Lisa Bolt. I was born August 21st, 1986 in Jamaica. When I was a young boy, I played cricket. I'm well known for 5 gold medals, and some of my most important accomplishments I was called the fastest man in the world, and I broke my own record of Asian child in 9.69 seconds. I would like to be remembered as the fastest man in the world. Thank you, have a great day.
Can we just talk one more time? I think so.
Hello, my name is Usain Bolt. I was born August 21st, 1986 in Jamaica. When I was a young boy, I played cricket. I am well known to have 5 gold medals. Some of my most proud accomplishments that I've been called the fastest man in the world, and I broke my world record of Beijing, China in 9.69 seconds. I would like to be remembered as the fastest man in the world. Thank you, have a great day.
Hi, my name is Davy Crockett. I was born in Tennessee in 1768 and died at the Alamo in 1836. I am famous for exploring the wild western frontier. I am most proud of the 7 years I served in Congress. Kids still love to hear of my adventures. Thanks for coming to see me at the Wax Museum. Bye-bye. Hello. Hello, my name is Martin Luther King Jr., and I was born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. I am my name because I created a world of all the clays and lived in it together. I was a civil rights activist. One of my most proud accomplishments was putting an end to segregation. Because at the time, black and white people not live, eat, play, or do anything else together. I helped change that. Did you know that I was arrested by Virginia Black Times because they did not like what I was doing? I would like to be remembered as the person who changed the world in this information. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hello, my name is Sacagawea. I was born around the year 1788 in Lent Country, Idaho. I'm well known because I went on the Lewis and Clark expedition while carrying a baby on my back. Some of my most proud accomplishments are translating during the Lewis and Clark expedition and providing food for the expedition. But most of all, it's how much I helped during the expedition. Yes, did you know when I was born, America was a new country? I'd like to be remembered as the girl that carried a baby on my back all the way to the Pacific. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hello, my name is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I was born March 15, 1933 in Brooklyn, New York. I'm well known because I helped gender equality and peace and was a women's Supreme Court justice. So my most proud accomplishments are that I was a national leader for women around the world. When I became a justice, I changed the game for women's opportunities. People said that women couldn't be Supreme Court justice, but I blew away their expectations. Did you know that when I was born, my first name was Joan? There are a lot of other Joans. People call me by my middle name, Ruth. And when I was a judge, I wore different necklaces to try how you agreed or not. I would like to be remembered as someone who fought for gender equality and peace. Have a nice day. Hi, my name is Malala. My favorite color is pink. I was born in Mingora, Pakistan. When I was 11, girls were not allowed to go to school. The Taliban shot me in the head while I was riding the bus home from school when I was 15. After that, we moved to Birmingham, England. I started my blog, Story of a Schoolgirl. I won the Nobel Peace Prize when I was 17 years old for girls' education. As I always say, we realize the importance of our voices only when we are silenced.
Hello, my name is Jackie Robinson. I was born on January 3rd, 1990 in rural Cairo, Georgia. I'm well known because I was the first African American to play for a Major League Baseball MLB team. Some of my most proud accomplishments are serving in the military and joining the Dodgers. Did you know, after I retired, I still am connected with my wife Rachel and 3 children, one named Jackie Jr. I would like to be remembered as a great baseball player and inspiration to other African American baseball players. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Hello, my name is Marie Curie. I was born on November 7th, 1867 in Warsaw, which is the capital of Poland. I'm well known because I discovered a new metal. I called it radium. I didn't know but radium was actually hurting me. This is because I was working with it for so many years. I eventually got infected by it and unfortunately died. Some of my most proud accomplishments are being one of the first women scientists, discovering radium, and being one of the few women who went to college. In addition, I also ended up marrying a scientist and having 2 children. Did you know I had a pet tiger named X-Ray? I would like to be remembered as the reason we can help cure cancer and one of the most famous women scientists. Thank you and have a nice day.
We just took
They were so good. We'll have some comments and
Sure.
questions, so if you could pass the mic.
I am so impressed with all of you guys. You didn't all work on your own project. You had help. You worked with a group of people, right? You did this. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all that counts, especially that you taught us a whole lot, and that was amazing and awesome. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you guys for coming here tonight and sharing your work with us. It's brave, first of all, because, you know, it's like a room full of adults that you don't know, and you're sharing all this information, which is really cool. You represent our schools, and we're just so proud of you. This is amazing. What a really great project this was. Sounds like you learned a lot, and thank you.
I just want to thank all of you. I mean, the courage to come up here and speak in front of all of us cannot be easy. I know what that's like. The presentations are fantastic, the artwork, the speeches, and now you know if you want to get out of the house on a school night, the Board of Education.
Thank you all. What a wonderful job, and I love all the people that you picked, and I learned something new about every single one of them. So thank you very much for sharing that knowledge with us.
I just thought, you look at all of you, and I could tell who you were before I saw the posters. You guys did a really great job, and what an incredible variety of really cool people you represented. Really nice job.
I agree. I love your selections. You picked people that really have contributed to society in extremely different ways, and I appreciate that. And also, I mean, you could have just done the posters, and that would have been great. I would have learned from that. But this presentation was so dynamic and engaging, and your speaking skills are truly amazing. And so thank you for coming to present to us. Appreciate it.
So I want to follow up on what was just said about your speaking skills. One of the things I'm supposed to report on tonight are all the good things happening in our schools. And one of the things on the list was your Wax Museum project and this work that you did. So we're very lucky. These are our favorite meetings when we get to actually see, not just read on a list, but actually see it come to life. And all the people who are viewing are getting to see too how wonderful these kinds of things are. And I don't know if you realize, but we have a student on our board who was reporting earlier about things happening at the high school. And you all spoke so well, I'm sure one of you all might be up there when you're old enough. So keep that in mind.
And of course, wonderful things don't happen unless we have wonderful teachers. So thank you for the guidance of this great project. And additionally, wonderful costumes don't happen without the support of the wonderful parents. So thank you for that. And the parents and teachers come up so we can get one more picture.
And also, Christopher's going to have a tough time following this with the budget presentation.
We've finally raised the bar
so
for
much more
Christopher
fun.
Jones. That was super. That was awesome. And you guys, you're like professionals. It was super. So good. Big book.
My nanny kid did this last year, and she was, oh gosh, who's the woman that's deaf and blind? Helen Keller. Yes, thank you. I should have known. But she did Helen Keller, so we were practicing the whole time. We had a lot of fun.
Parents have questions?
Moms and dads, get us here. What a cool idea, too. Oh, that's such a nice picture.
In this picture, by all means.
Thanks, everyone.
That's for kids? Yes!
Yeah, it's over there. By the teacher.
More than just the usual today. Everybody wants to know about the budget.
Well, I don't know about my husband wouldn't want to drive.
That's amazing. Yes.
I was just waiting for everybody to get set up. We're staying here, but
I don't know if this is the best. I guess this is what
And
oh, they're gonna like show some graphs and
Yeah,
stuff.
we gotta turn around.
Yeah, I feel like it's okay. I think we'll
we're
be
going to go right into the budget presentation. Mr. Jones will present. It'll be on the screen.
Do we have to push a button for you to speak?
I said I didn't wear anything. I just didn't know.
We gotta turn around.
So of course, everything we do, we try to connect very closely to the district mission. The mission of Scotch Plains Fanwood Public Schools is to educate every student to become a confident and caring lifelong learner who can communicate and contribute positively to the rapidly changing world. The district, in cooperation with the community, will provide an academic environment which values excellent initiative and diversity. As we look ahead to the 25-26 school year, we've established clear goals to guide our budget planning process. First and foremost, we're committed to using all funding efficiently to maximize our community's investment in education. Every dollar must deliver value for our students. We're also allocating resources to successfully complete our 22 through 2025 strategic plan while simultaneously engaging the community in developing our next strategic plan for 2026 and beyond. This ensures continuity in our educational vision. Despite the challenging economic climate we're all experiencing, we're determined to respond without negatively impacting our instructional programs or services. We've made strategic adjustments in areas like transportation and staffing while preserving what matters most to student achievement. Finally, we remain focused on ensuring our schools are secure, well-run, and well-maintained. This includes continued investment in our maintenance reserves and security infrastructure to provide safe, effective learning environments for all students and staff.
No need to push my button, Mr. Morris. Our curriculum instruction priorities for 25-26 reflect our ongoing commitment to educational excellence. We'll implement annual goals related to our 22-25 strategic plan through targeted program development and professional learning. We're continuing our focus on educating the whole child through the second step SEL curriculum, which helps students develop crucial social emotional skills. Additionally, we're entering year 3 of our Teaching for Social Justice Academy as part of our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. A key initiative for next year is the continued expansion of dual enrollment opportunities, giving our students the chance to earn college credits while still in high school. We're proud to partner with several prestigious institutions, including the University of Delaware, which will be offering courses in entrepreneurship and sustainable design, Kean University with a course on racism, genocide, and the Holocaust, Union College, which provides a course on contemporary business, and we're exploring an opportunity through the College of New Jersey to pilot advanced placement credits through equivalency courses at the college. These partnerships demonstrate our commitment to creating advanced educational pathways that prepare our students for success beyond high school while making college more accessible and affordable for our families.
So this is our enrollment as of October 15th. We have seen enrollment stabilize recently, which is partly due to some delayed openings and new developments. And we haven't seen the impact of the birth rate enrollments yet, which we wouldn't expect. I would expect probably not even next year, the year after, when we really expect a spike with the birth rate. So, you know, I think it's difficult to time the enrollment and how it changes, but, you know, we are still up. Okay, expenses. So, looking at the general fund overview, this is the majority of our expenses. Of course, the budget maintains programs and services, but you can see the transportation budget has been a significant factor over the past couple of years. And thankfully, it started to stabilize. We saw it at the end of last year, towards the end of the year, and you know, we budgeted a little bit higher this year. So it's gone pretty much, hasn't gone down. It's really just staying flat. But we've also had some, you know, out-of-district students that have that have aged out of our program, so that so the numbers are down, so that's what drives your costs lower. And we've reworked some of the routes, so we've taken some different strategies where we thought we'd have to add a new route, but by reworking it, we've delayed it for another year. So happy to report that. And you know, we always go to lowest bid. So as the market changes, it's sort of live for us because everything goes out to bid. We're required by the state to take the lowest bid. So as costs go up or go down, we sort of see it in real time. In terms of the salaries, 2.8%, and the reason is for that, the way we can get away with that, even though our contract rate is higher than that, is because we spend a lot of time. Like right now, once a week, we're meeting and going through staffing and making sure that any new hire that we need is absolutely needed. And as students shift in between grades and schools, we shift around staff as needed. So we're 100% focused on that. It's our absolute biggest cost. And we make sure that we agonize over any changes or new hires, and it's shown in some of the numbers that we have. So the pension's tough. So the pension costs continue to go up. I think municipality will talk about this as well. And we have no control over this. They set the rate for us, and they just keep increasing. I think a couple of years ago, our annual increase was around $150,000. You can see now it's almost up to $200,000. This is an estimate. At this point, we don't have the final numbers. But yeah, they keep pushing the pension costs down to the local level. And you know, it's just sort of, we have to do it, it's mandatory. I think you can see here the biggest mover on this slide is health insurance. We've really seen a major increase in health insurance, and I'll go into a little more detail in the next slide. So the slide says it all here. We had relatively just costs for 5 years in health insurance, and now it's really spiked significantly. And I just wanted to show some of the action we've taken to try to mitigate this as much as possible. So we can join with other schools or even municipalities to try to pool our claims, and really that eliminates your variability. You know, as you know, one school or one town has a difficult year, and another town has a positive year, and so it mitigates the up and down. But because the high claims that we have, and they are very significant, we are rejected. You know, those insurance, they don't want to allow in you know, an organization that will drive up their numbers. Another thing we did last year, we combined our medical and dental to, you know, we use Aetna to increase our purchasing power. But even after the 1 year of claims, they pushed back on that and actually switched dental out again. You know, because to get a lower cost. And of course, we go out to bid when we have to, and by doing that, we're able to use the lower bids to, you know, put pressure on our current provider. And when I say lower cost, it's not, you know, let's just say Aetna comes in, we're looking at between 15 and 20% increase, which is crazy, and then maybe the lowest, they're coming in at 18, we go to the lowest bid, and they're like, oh, we'll do 15. So, you know, lowers it, like, but still, you know, a massive increase. And we're doing everything we can to mitigate the costs. So it's a sort of standard slide we have every year. I think it just drives home the point that the vast majority of our expenses are fixed. Health benefits and salaries, transportation, which is regulated by statute and law, and that's the majority of our costs. So we really don't have much flexibility in terms of how we can we can move expenses around. Sort of get into the other. We'd like to give a lot of detail here so that people know we take this very seriously. We continue to see, our special ed services, occupational physical therapists, and also nurses as well, the shortages for these positions. And so because of that, they continue to increase prices, and I expect to do it again next year. As I mentioned before, some of the COVID out-of-district students have aged out, so we're able to take that savings on the out-of-district tuition, and that helps us out. And then we switched to a new custodial vendor. We're always looking at prices. I mean, our custodial expenses are, we have 8 schools, so you can imagine the cost of supplies. And we switched our vendor, and by streamlining that, we got some good savings. It just shows we're looking at everything to try to push the limit of reducing costs. And we increased our use of our reserve, maintenance reserve this year, and then we're going to try to get ahead. That's going to be for roofing repairs, air conditioning repairs. So we have, HVAC, and more than half of the district has HVAC right now, but of course they require maintenance, and those parts are significantly expensive. By using this maintenance reserve, we can extend the life of the HVAC that we have. And when we have to be replacing it, we have to go to our capital reserve. So we try to extend the life of those as much as we can. And this shows that we're constantly thinking about ways that we can get in front of it. And we also use these funds for paving throughout the district. And we've seen a reduction in our medical dental waivers as well, so we're able to take that runner. We saw it 2 years ago really come in. We want to see another year of reduction in there. But because it's such a tight budget this year, we really had to take that out and out of the room rate. So overall, pretty good, as best as we can do here. Of course, our technology goes up every year. Now, there are price increases. I know anybody with technology. Price increases for software just goes up, minimum 5-6% per year. So revenue, what's this mean? So tax levy increased 3.5%, 2% is our standard levy, $1.5 million for healthcare. We'll say, we did have an increase in state aid, but of course that was offset by the increase in the pension costs. And at the same time, so the state this year, what they did is the reason we got an increase in state aid is because of our enrollment. Because of the dramatic changes in different districts across the state, they wanted to not hurt some of the districts that have down enrollment. So they limited their decreases to, I believe it's 3% or so. So what that means is then they have to limit our increases. So they capped us at a 6% increase this year, but based on our enrollment, we should have really got another $250,000 in funding. And what they're saying is they'll increase that over a certain amount of years. We have to wait and see. They say that, but as the years go, we'll see where it comes back. But yeah, so they capped us this year, but due to our enrollment, we do expect to get that back over the next couple of years, hopefully. But this is the first time they did this, so nothing's guaranteed, of course. Continue to use our fund balance to maintain operations. Extraordinary aid, we're keeping it right where it is. They did not increase extraordinary aid this year, which is really, we don't put the full amount potential we could get in here because they for the past 4 years they've decreased it. So they're not increasing the amount of extraordinary aid this year, but really that's a decrease because that extraordinary aid, a lot of it covers your special services, which is OT, PT, things like that. And I just showed you on the previous slide, those costs are up by 15%. So effectively, by keeping it flat, it really is a cut. So even though we received a little bit more than $2 million last year in extraordinary aid, it's gone down now 5 years in a row. And we have some interest income in the budget as well. Just a little commentary on revenue and sort of what we tried to do this year. So because our healthcare costs are so massive, state you look at that middle box there, state really allows you to raise taxes outside the 2% cap. So we could have gone up $4.7 million this year in terms of taxes, but by taking the net expense reduction that I mentioned, that I went through, we got the state aid increase, which of course was offset by the pension increase. The actual tax increase is less than what we were allowed to do. So we're trying to keep costs down, of course, as much as possible. We get a lot of questions about federal funding and wondering what the impact would be on our schools. So we wanted to be transparent about what this is, and we don't really know what's going to happen with that, of course. I don't think anybody knows, but $2 million is what we get right now, and just to put it in perspective, that's a 2% tax increase. So it's a significant amount of money and would, of course, affect our operations significantly. And the last thing to think about is the inflation risk. At this point, it's hard to tell what it'll be, but we know that that's something that will affect us as well. So, we know it's a really tough budget, really tough environment. We've tried to lower costs as much as we could, and because of that, we were able to not go to the full amount that the state allows us to. Okay. So in terms of taxes, again, this does not include, the referendum. We're focused tonight on the general operating budget and the tax increase here. And of course, this is an estimate, sort of just to point out, these things change and often come in lower than this. But yeah, this is an estimate at this point of what the impact will be. Okay. So we're going to talk about some fun stuff. We got some athletics things I want to. So there's a lot of accomplishments this year that are really cool. So I think one thing to mention is 410 athletes per season. That's about 30% of our students are in athletics. That's a significant amount. And I'm just going to go through all the accomplishments we had, because it really, when you hear it right in a row, it really shows you something. Last spring, boys volleyball, Watchung Conference County Sectional Championships and state finals, 6th in a row county championship. That's a lot. Boys tennis County Player of the Year, spring 24. Softball advanced to the county finals. First time we can remember. We look back historically, first time they advanced to the county finals. Gymnastics, I don't know what to say about them. County champions 6th year in a row. It's pretty crazy. Boys soccer, Union County North 2 Group 4 sectional championships and the state finalist. Bowling, Union County champions. Girls volleyball, Mountain Division champions, sectional semifinals. Boys basketball, Mountain Division champions, 3rd year in a row. Winter track, 2 sectional champions, 55 dash, 55 hurdles. 55 dash for girls, 55 hurdles for boys. So I think the numbers and results speak for themselves, and I think it's, this does include, of course, we had a lot of, the esports we've had and the robotics, we've had a lot of success there too. So, the investment in the sports is paid off for a lot of our students. So I think we can all be proud of that. With that, I'll turn it over to Dr. McGarry.
So equally impressive is the world-class fine arts and music program that our budget provides, which has earned recognition for excellence at the local, state, and even national levels. These images showcase the depth and diversity of artistic opportunities available for our students. Our performing arts programs continue to wow audiences, as I'm sure there's an audience being wowed just down the hallway tonight, with high-quality productions like Into the Woods Junior and The Lightning Thief, produced this year at our middle schools, Game of Tiaras, Cabaret for a Cure, and this weekend's production of Freaky Friday at the high school, along with various concerts and recitals throughout the year. The Jazz Night and other musical performances highlight the exceptional talent of our student musicians. What's particularly noteworthy is how our arts program create opportunities for students to connect their creative expression with community service, as evidenced by the Cabaret fundraiser for the Emmanuel Cancer Foundation, or the myriad of community performances our students dedicate themselves to for holidays and other community celebrations. The fine arts and music education our students receive goes far beyond technical skills. It fosters creativity, self-expression, collaboration, and cultural appreciation. These programs are essential to our mission of developing well-rounded graduates who can think creatively and contribute positively to our rapidly changing world. What truly sets Scotch Plains Famwood Public Schools apart is our commitment to fostering success across all grade levels, from our youngest elementary students, as you saw tonight, to our graduating seniors. The images on this slide capture diverse educational experiences throughout our district. You can see elementary students engaged in collaborative reading groups, hands-on learning and creative learning activities such as the Wax Museum we saw tonight, middle school students participating in academic competitions and historical presentations, and high school students representing our district at conferences and earning academic recognition. These photos illustrate our belief that education isn't confined to textbooks and classrooms. We create rich, varied learning experiences that engage students' natural curiosity and help them discover their unique talents and interests. From Model UN conferences to STEM competitions, from literary explorations to historical reenactments, we're constantly creating opportunities for students to excel. The success we see across all grade levels demonstrates the effectiveness of our educational approach and the dedication of our outstanding educators who, as Mr. Jones have said, are funded through a significant portion of our budget. Speaking of which, we are particularly proud to share with you our 24-25 Governor's Educator of the Year recipients. This past month, in pictures here, you saw them in person at the last meeting. These extraordinary educators exemplify the excellence, dedication, and passion that define our district's teaching staff.
So our strong foundation is best because educators partner with families and our community. Here we celebrate students learning the importance of their civic involvement, community-sponsored events such as the second annual Super Sports Saturday and Color Runs in partnership with the PTAs, project winners for the Union County Law Day competition, creative summer workshops, Red, White, and Blue Day, Evergreen New Wing ribbon cutting, Emily Litz becoming the Milken National Educator recipient, and the 100th day of school. All of these events we celebrate well and proudly, and we appreciate how the budget supports all the work that we do.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, Dr. McGarry, Dr. Nash, for the presentation. Mr. Jones, thank you for all your hard work in getting the numbers together this year. Does anybody have anything for?
Are we doing a motion?
I just, it's just one of those things that I think I talked about in one of the first times I joined the board, which was about the dual enrollment. And I think it's really fabulous to see that we've got so many colleagues on board, and that whether the last one works out or not, but that it's on our thought. And when you put together everything towards the end of highlighting all of the various different sports achievements, athletic achievements, arts, it really is amazing to see, especially after this amazing presentation in the Wax Museum tonight. And so I'm usually not the person to say thank you to you, Chris, but I know it's not a small feat. I'm really glad that buses went down a little bit. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on the tentative budget, or this is not voting on the final budget, this is just the proposed that was reviewed tonight? So do we have a motion?
Second.
Ms. Brody, Ms. Bauer, any comments or other questions on the budget?
I would
On the
just echo
proposed
what
tentative budget?
I would just echo what you said. It takes a lot of work, and I know the finance committee worked with Christopher, and so we really saw all the diligence that went into it.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is the uncontrolled expenses, right? So we have the state pension, that the state controls how much, and I think as Mr. Jones has talked about over the years, the state continues to push down those expenses more to both the school districts, and I think the township is experiencing something similar as well. And our, funding numbers aren't adequately where they belong as well. And then you have healthcare, which is across, not just unique to us. I think healthcare costs in general have continued to spike. So those are the ones that, you have to try to manage, which are, we've been able to do. It's just a matter of the sustainability long term. And then when you switch administrations both at the state level and federal level, the implications are unknowable as well. So with that, any other comments?
I'd just like to say thank you as well. And it's particularly hard because you just get your revenue numbers like days ago. So they have to have multiple versions of a budget to be able to submit and present for tonight. Because nobody sees that there's like different scenarios of exactly, because we don't know until maybe 48 hours ahead of this what the numbers are. So, it's not easy. I'm glad I don't have to do this. Thank you.
Any other comments?
I just want to echo what everyone has said and really thank the business office. I think, for being creative and being diligent about finding ways to save money, like with the custodial vendor costs, instead of, cutting important programming or staffing, which I know some other districts we've seen do things like that, cut art, music, significant staffing cuts, and so I really appreciate the diligence in finding other ways to be fiscally responsible. I know every year in our financial audit, they praise us for our fiscal responsibility and have budget as councils. Thank you.
Anything else? Not. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will now move on to our first public speaking portion. In accordance with Scotch-Plains Family Public School Bylaws 0164 and 0165, the meeting will be open for 15 minutes for public comment. Maximum 3 minutes for speakers. Speakers addressing superintendent items, business functions, or other board business will be heard first. At the time remaining, speakers may address other matters. Speakers state your full name and the town in which you reside. Board's use of public comment period is an opportunity to listen to citizen concern, but not to debate issues or enter in the question and answer session or cross-examination between the public and the individual members. Be aware that not all issues brought before the board meeting will be resolved that evening. Boards may respond to public comment by seeking additional information or by delegating the authority to investigate the issue to the superintendent or her designee. So I'll now open up for 15 minutes. If you have a comment, please come forward, state your name and the town in which you reside.
So I did pause there and wait for a second to let somebody else speak, right? Gary Morris, Fanwood, New Jersey. I want to talk about parental rights regarding policy 5756. And I want to use an analogy of, let's just say, for instance, I had a child that I did not want playing football, but the kid is 6'6", 280 pounds, and the coach is just like, man, I want this kid to play on the team. Would the school put that kid on the team without my permission? Of course not, right? Like that would be a violation of parental rights. Why is it okay for a child to change their name in school and begin transitioning without a parent's automatic notification? Parents need to be aware of what's happening with their children. And keeping secrets is something fundamentally that should be a red flag for any situation. Teachers should not be keeping secrets from parents regarding the children. It should be full disclosure. You can't have a kid who vandalizes a bathroom, for instance. Of course, if you catch a kid vandalizing a bathroom, you're going to notify the parents. You're not going to say, well, I don't want to tell the parents because maybe the parents will be upset with that child. Of course you would notify the parents. It's a simple thing. Keep the parents in the loop. Yes, are there going to be parents that might be abusive? That's a separate issue. And you can't assume every parent is going to be abusive, so you automatically may be hiding that information from a parent. So I am all on board with notify the parents in every situation, whether it be a coach wants them to play on the football team, or whether a child wants to change their name. The parents should be notified. Thank you.
Thank you, Anyone else for public comment? There's another one. Okay, seeing no one, I'll close the first portion of the public comment section. Move on to additional reports, letters to the board. 5 emails are received and sent to the appropriate administrator. And I believe we have a couple of committee reports this evening.
I have a finance report. It's pretty redundant, because we did a lot of budget information, but we, as Mr. Jones had mentioned, we discussed the safe funding and that we were capped at 6% of enrollment. If we were not capped, we would have received 9%. Instead, $762,000 as opposed to $512,000. There's some agenda items on for tonight. The attorney for the bond, a bond issuer, auditor will also be on the agenda. Proposals for architecture, HVAC, etc. will be on the agenda. There is a small roofing restoration project that falls on the agenda at the cost of $7,571. We estimate the closing of the new building to be in May, and we know that the budget spot for the presentation.
Any comments or questions for Ms. Murray?
And, community relations.
For community relations, it was an exciting meeting. We had a guest, Mark Fabiano, who is a health and PE teacher, a wrestling coach, advisor for pickleball and SMAC, and he was reporting from Atlantic City. We had Julia Richards, who was down there and qualified for, I don't know the final outcome of where she ranked, but she was going to get to, she was in the top 8, right?
She definitely in the top 8.
And so that was exciting, and also related to that was he was telling us that she and actually Liz Sanford, who is a math teacher but also wrestling coach, are going to be, were selected to be in this film, Butterfly Jam.
Jim.
What? Jim? Oh. Okay. And it's going to be filming in April in Paris and in Newark. So we're very excited to have them representing our school district and filming. And who knows, maybe they'll be at the Oscars next year.
It's a film about a co-ed wrestling team, right?
Yes, yes. So we'll see how that goes. So that was very exciting. Dr. Mast also reported on things like meetings she's been having with parents and things like that. And then she always shares with us good news from all the schools when she meets with the school liaisons. And there was a long list of things, and each thing on the list is wonderful, like what you saw tonight. And there were other kinds of very creative ways students were being involved in reading, Read Across America, science fairs, author visits. I mean, it's really impressive, and one of the things we talked about is how we could put that somewhere publicly so everyone could see all the things on this list, because you don't want us to just read all these things. One of the things on the list too is athletic achievements, and a number of them our business manager mentioned, and so just very exciting things going on in our schools. And that was and I don't know if anybody else who was there wants to chime in with something. But
I would just add that, to your point, the enthusiasm of our wrestling coach, he should get the next
his
Oscar.
own Academy Award.
He
Yes.
was so ecstatic, and the story of how Janelle was cast and then how she brought the coach on board was that just sort of happened naturally. But it was his enthusiasm for all the players, not just the one
Yes.
player, obviously, but And I think that's sort of been the sense I've gotten around sports this year in our athletic department.
And maybe we'll get an in-person report or update on that after the filming. He did say, and I know Mr. Jones will be interested, that wrestling is the fastest growing sport in the country.
Any other comments? Any other committee reports? Okay. You had received the enrollment report, out of district.
So 1, we have the out-of-district placement. 2, we have the HIBs from February 20th. 3, we have the field trip requests. And we'll just block personnel in there, the personnel report that we discussed in exec this evening.
We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Dr. Kulikowski, do we have a second? Second. Ms. Brody, comments or questions? Mr. Jones, please call the roll.
Ms. Barty?
Yes.
Ms. Bauer?
Yes.
Mrs. Boyle?
Yes.
Ms. Brody?
Yes.
Dr. Kulikowski?
Yes.
Ms. Siriani?
Abstain from him, I wasn't at February 20th. And okay, and yes.
Ms. Winkler? Mr. Murray?
Yes. Motion carries. Business items, Mr. Jones?
Number 1, staff training. Number 2, related services. 3, effective school solutions. So effective school solutions we're approving now, where typically steps in we do in May, because they give us a pretty good discount. They provide our summer programs for free if we sign by a certain date for next year. So and it helps us too for staffing for these to help work with them. Number 4, library book disposal. And just in terms of issuing the bonds for the referendum, these are the next ones. Number 5 is our municipal advisor who issues the bonds. Number 6, our auditor who prepares all the financial statements and details, and our bond attorney as well. So, and then number 8, Bunner Gazebo. So this is an interesting one. We had a donation for gazebo, and there are going to be some costs to do it, but I would say that this is it's a 3x return on our investment by investing this money in this gazebo at Brunner. We'll get 3 times the value of the donation that we approved a couple of meetings ago, and it's not just a normal gazebo. It's very large, and will be used as outdoor classroom. So it's a pretty cool thing here. Number 9, yes, roofing. Sort of just to speak on this a little bit. It's in terms of the cost. So 100,000 seems like a lot, but really, we've been really focused on in the past 6 months on looking at our roofs and trying to figure out. We've done a lot of tests to try to figure out replacement versus what's this called, refurbishment. And the cost difference is striking. To not only is just to replace the roof versus refurbishment, it's double to replace. But by going to doing refurbishment, you won't. In addition, you won't have fees, permits, stay, and all these different things you got to do. So this is one where it seems like 100,000 is actually a pretty good deal for us. We'll get a 20-year warranty, which typical roof replacements are 30. But still on an annual basis, this is it took a lot of work to review our roofs, and this one needs to be done quickly. And I think even though it looks like 100,000, it's efficient 100,000 to get this program to be done over spring break. 10 is our standard reporter drills, and number 11 payment bills. And we'll have the next month. We'll have the because there's such a turnover on the board agenda. This board meeting was moved up early because the state changed the way, the time we normally do this kind of budget. The pressure on us, that's where they're talking to. The speed of us getting this done, they've extended it out. And so our treasurer was not done with our financial report. It'll be on the next report, on the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Brody, a second?
Second.
Do you have any comments or questions for Mr. Jones?
Only I know we spend a lot of time talking about roofs. Do you want to mention like how many roofs we have?
Yeah, we have 6 football fields and roofs on our buildings, and we have, in terms of sections, there's almost 200 sections of roofs. So this is one section of Coles. I think Coles has, I believe, theirs is less than, let's say, the high school, but I think 12 or 13 sections of roof. So it's a massive undertaking to you can do them every year. You can do multiple, and it takes a long time to get there. But yeah, a lot of roofs.
So they've been Mr. Jones has been spending a lot of time on roofs, but I didn't want people to see Coles Roofing again and wonder why.
Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No more policies at this time, correct, Mr. Clerk? Do we have a motion to approve minutes from the February meeting? Ms. Barrow? Second from anyone? Second, Ms. Brody. Any comments or questions on that? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. New board business. Liaison reports.
I don't really have a report, but I just want to mention that Garden State is meeting next week, and I know it's an in-person meeting, but the Attorney General for the state of New Jersey is going to be there, and I think I reported last month how excellent he was, how impressed we were when we were on a Zoom meeting. As a matter of fact, I heard him on the radio driving over here, talking about implications for things that are going on and lawsuits New Jersey's involved in related to education. So for anyone who can go, it should be a really good meeting.
Where is it?
But I know a reminder's coming out.
Yeah,
It's in Somerset, but I forget. Oh, wait, Franklin Township. In Somerset, though, not in Sussex.
Any other liaison reports? Ms. Barrow, do you have?
Just worth mentioning that CPAC has not met again, but on the 24th at 7 p.m. at the library in the high school is the parent and caregiver meeting only. And that's CPAC's update.
Any other reports for liaison? None? Okay. Workshop reports? Do we have anybody that would like to make a motion to adopt the Autism Acceptance Month resolution?
So moved. Second.
Dr. Kulkowski? Laura? Do we have any comments, questions, or no? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second public comment. In accordance with Scottsdale Fanwood Public School Bylaw 01640165, the meeting will be open for 50 minutes for public comment. Maximum 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers addressing superintendent and whose business functions or other board business will be heard first. If time remains, speakers may address other matters. Speakers, please state your name, full name, and the town in which you reside. So I'll open it up again. 15 minutes.
Gary Morris, Fanwood. In honor of Women's History Month, I thought I'd tell a little bit of a true story. Mary was an 800-meter runner in high school. As a senior, she ran 2 minutes 12 seconds in 1979. She was the only girl on her high school team. She only applied to 2 schools, and she actually went to the school that I went to, Manhattan College in the Bronx. She shows up first day of school, asks about the track team. There's no girls track team in the college. So she went to the school and she thought she was going to be running track in college. And it wasn't like it back to now when you could just go online real quick and just see, hey, let me check the sports. It just wasn't that easy to check the things. So rather than leave the school, she decided, hey, they have a guys track team. I'm going to help out, and I'm going to be the scorekeeper and the equipment manager and stuff like that and take care of business. She was there 2 years, and the coach on her 3rd year said, look, I want you to give a tour for the new guys on the team and everything. And that day she met her husband, a man named Willie. A few years later, they got married. And the reason I'm bringing this story up is that is Sydney McLaughlin's parents. And it's an amazing thing to see how these two, by chance, fell in love, had kids. All of their kids are terrific. Sydney turns out to be a world record holder, 4 gold medals, just ran right down the street, local to here. One of the most spectacular athletes in the world. Despite being one of the most spectacular athletes in the world, she's ranked #1 in a number of categories. She's actually ranked 3rd in her family because both one of her brothers and her father ran the 400 meters faster than she did. And this is one of the things with the 57-56. There's biological differences we got to take into account here. We need to base it on fairness. Imagine if her brother decided to run on the girls' team as a senior. We may never know who Sydney is. We would have only known Taylor. So let's keep this in mind when we talk about these things like 57-56. It's a policy. It is not mandatory. It should be withdrawn. It doesn't make sense for fairness. My daughter is now a soccer coach in middle school, and again, I saw how athletics helped her as a soccer player in college, how important it was to her, and I don't want that to be taken away. Let's change.
That is your time.
I understand. No one else is talking. So let's change Women's History Month to Women's Future Month. Let's get it done.
Any other public comments? Seeing none, I will close this portion. Upcoming scheduled meetings, we have asked the superintendent at 10 a.m. on March 26th at Terrell. I believe there's a sign up for that. And then our regular public board meeting is April 24th at 8 p.m. In this location. Okay, go to the order.
Well, last night I had the honor of attending the Unsung Heroes program at Kane University with Dr. Hines, and we recognized TJ Raspberry as our unsung hero. There were 30 some odd recipients from across our county, and it was a beautiful program and very well attended. I also had the opportunity to read at Coles and McGinn last week for Read Across America. I'm very happy that I could participate in that way. And I also saw Into the Woods at Nettingham, which was an excellent presentation. And I hope everybody else had that opportunity to see it. The students were absolutely fabulous. The scenery, the costumes, everything was spectacular. It was comparable to a high school production. And then just bouncing back to what Mrs. Bauer said, the location for the meeting on March 19th would be at the Franklin School District Board Office, 2301 Route 27 in Somerset, New Jersey. That is Wednesday, March 19th. That's the next Garden State in the morning. Yes, yeah, during the day. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I was excited to be in the classroom. So, as a board member, we would walk around the schools. We're not in the classrooms typically, so it was fun to be with the kids. But it was really fun. And
America at Cole. And just a shout out to, I think the PTAs across the board and all of the schools did things. I attended, at Coles they had bedtime story hour where they had an hour long, like 15-minute chunks. And so many, staff members came out and read to our kids. And like, I mean, I could have sat there. The way these elementary school teachers read, it's amazing. And then the last reader in every room was a fourth grader. And to see the fourth graders reading to like a room full of, like the other kids in that school, like the pre-K kids were all, it was really wonderful. The hour flew by and we get to the really good time. And, like making reading fun, I think is so important. So.
I read to school one and I have to say I was so impressed with how well behaved all of the kids are. They sit, they're ready for you, they're all sitting on the floor and waiting for you to read. And they're so excited about it, but they're so good. I mean, every single classroom, everywhere I read it, I'm so impressed.
Just to follow on that, I think it's incredibly impressive when you go in for Read Across America. And I'm always grateful that the elementary teacher stays in the room because it would be a much different experience if they did not. Like, reading to very young children is a very specialized skill. And though I certainly did it successfully, they do it magnificently.
Oh, yeah.
And in addition to that, last night was the second night of the EEF fundraiser of the Harlem Wizards, and I was able to attend last night. I believe Dr. McGarry was there. But the first evening, just the number of staff who come out and confront that very talented basketball team, and the amount of parents who are there with their kids cheering on is really such a good community event and a great fundraiser for the EEF's scholarship fund. One highlight was as one quarter ended and the buzzer was going off, Dr. D threw a three-pointer. And she was delighted and shocked at herself. It was a very
One thing, I don't usually speak up, but so you brought up the wrestling. I figured, so most people don't know, I'm very biased on wrestling. I wrestled in high school and college, and about I'd say 12 years ago, I went to a wrestling practice with one of the Lehigh wrestling coaches. It's the Division I program, and he said to me, what do you think? Would you, if you had a daughter, would you let her wrestle? And I said, absolutely. And it really was sort of the kickoff of being more accepted within the wrestling community of women's wrestling. And about 5 years later, that's when Lehigh started their Olympic training center there at the university. And so really the growth of wrestling within the country is really driven by the women's side. And it really comes through the full acceptance of the men's programs that have really embraced it and are fundraising for it. There's now 4 Division I wrestling programs, another 10 with the wrestling clubs, and a lot of other regional training centers for the Olympics throughout. So I think it's great. Hopefully my daughter will wrestle one day. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm hopeful. But I think when we started the program here, I was very proud of that. And, proud of the coaches and the girls who are wrestling. So.
Did you say that you have 40 wrestlers in there? It could be.
Maybe that to come out and then
Well, after this movie.
yeah. Well, they did fundraise for another mat this year because they had so many students out that they have practice now in the wrestling room and also in the gym. And they're able to, because the board invested in a female wrestling coach, they're able to now differentiate instruction to the athletes based on their levels. So it's going great.
Also our varsity football player scored a touchdown a few months back.
The first in the state, first
by varsity football.
Anyone else for the good of the order?
One more thing. Tonight is the blood moon. Between 2:15 a.m. and 3:45 it will be at the peak of its redness. So if you're up or you get up, you can see that. Or you can't sleep.
I think we should start viewing that movie.
Do you have anything?
Oh yes, please be safe at drop off.
Please be safe during
Where's the pass? It's in the car. I forgot to bring it in.
Anyone else? Otherwise, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
I'll see you in about a month. Yes. Hopefully we like microphones. I'll get the jack.
I like getting it. So you're
Charging it 18 rides down here.
How's it going?
Once my son is out, he's out.
Yeah, yes.